I think unquestionably the story of the sporting weekend in that second to last weekend of October, 21st for college football and the 22nd for the NFL, unquestioned story of the entire weekend for sports was the officiating. It was horrible. It was horrible. There's like 5 different examples of just horrendous officiating. You hate for that to even be a part of the narrative or a part of the story when you go over the scores and you reflect on how these teams performed. But the referees and the officiating was so bad all weekend long that they force us to talk about it in these situations. On Saturday, as an Alabama fan, I'll tell you directly, Tennessee had some horrendous calls go against them. You got Minnesota and Iowa with a miraculous punt return for a touchdown for Iowa that would have given them the lead and the win. And the refs call some sort of phantom fair catch, even though it bounced. And if it was a fair catch, but he caught it on the bounce, it shouldn't have been able to return it. Okay. And then all day on Sunday, every game had just horrible officiating. Terrible officiating. It was a bad weekend. October 21st, October 22nd. It was a bad weekend for the crowd that claims football to some degree isn't influenced by the officials or isn't rigged. I'm not saying that football is rigged. I don't think it is rigged. I don't think the NFL is rigged. I don't think college football is rigged. But when you have a punt return to win the game just wiped off the board for Iowa on just a phantom random fair catch call, okay. You've got a random kickoff phantom fair catch call for Tennessee against Alabama. On Sunday, you've got the Browns getting handed a win on a silver platter by the referees. Multiple horrendous calls in the red zone to basically gift the Browns a touchdown and ultimately win the game against the Colts. You've got Kenny Pickett going for it on 4th down and coming up like a full yard short. And the referee's just giving him the first down. Oh, it's over 2 minutes. You can't challenge it. But now it's under 2 minutes. But the Rams didn't have a timeout. That's really weird. How about Bijan Robinson? Not as much related to the referees, but I think arguably in that same ballpark of what the hell is going on? What did the guy have, a stomach bug? He had 1 carry for 3 yards. What's going on? Dude, what is happening? Arthur Smith gets asked about it. Head coach of the Falcons. Well, yeah, I don't know. This guy's just not feeling good. Huh? What? I didn't have any gambling money on Bijan Robinson. None of his player props, nothing. I have him in a couple fantasy leagues, and yeah, it was definitely frustrating. And I guess the teams don't have to disclose everything going on. But videos of Bijan in warmups, guy looks fine. And also, most football players, when they aren't feeling great, they usually go over to the back of the sideline, they throw up, and then they go play football. So to recap, it was a bad weekend for the, oh, football's not rigged crowd. Oh, you guys are conspiracy theorists crowd. You've got phantom fair catch call for Iowa. Wipes off a touchdown. They lose the game. Phantom kickoff fair catch call for Tennessee. You've got horrendous, and let me repeat that, horrendous officiating in the Browns and Colts game, handing the Browns the game-winning score at the end with just horrible officiating. Terrible calls. Kenny Pickett coming up a full yard short on a QB sneak on 4th down that essentially sealed the game for the Steelers. Full yard short. I know that we could do about it. Yeah, we're not going to look at it either. What? Bijan Robinson just not playing. He didn't feel good. That's not a good enough excuse. Why didn't he play? What's going on? And then Sunday Night Football. Oh boy. Now, I'm not even the Dolphins. I'm not a fan of the Dolphins or the Eagles, but there were at least 3 calls in that game that weren't called by the referees that would have benefited the Miami Dolphins. And then the roughing the passer on Jalen Hurts from Christian Wilkins. Oh boy. The officials did a horrible job, and it's all right in front of us. Everyone can see it. I'm not saying football is rigged. I don't think it is, but it's getting a lot harder for the people who defend the NFL as a true outcome product, or they defend referees, or they say things aren't rigged and there's no gambling influence, it's getting a lot harder for those people to like defend themselves. Because you watch the game and you're like, dude, this is horrendous. The Dolphins are getting screwed. And it's not just one call here and there. It's not one call in the first quarter, one call in the third quarter, one call in the second quarter. It's like in crunch time, critical plays to give teams first downs or non-calls that would have significantly impacted yardage gained, outcome of the game, that just referees are like, I didn't see anything. I mean, Dolphins got a receiver run down the sideline and he gets his face mask ripped by the DB. As the ball's coming down, ref's like, that is as clean as it comes, man. Dude, what are you talking about? Jalen Hurts gets pushed by Christian Wilkins. That is roughing the passer. What are you talking about? Refs just calling pass interference against the Colts with the Browns in the red zone as the ball lands 12 yards behind the end zone. Literally 12 yards behind the end zone. Or the play before that, as the Colts get a strip sack to essentially seal the game, and the refs called illegal contact on a DB for the Colts. You tell me, go see the highlight. You tell me if that's illegal contact. It's almost like the referees wanted the Browns to win. It's almost like what it is. Now, I'm not claiming that's the case, but it's almost like the referees wanted the Eagles to win for one reason or another. And again, probably not. We're all probably jumping to a crazy conclusion. That's probably not valid at all. But it's because the officiating was so bad throughout the entire weekend that's the only, not the only, that's the conclusions that people end up jumping to, because it was historically one of the worst officiated football weekends I can remember in my life. So officiating in both college and the NFL needs to be better. It needs to be better. People say, oh, these guys are watching in real time. You get the benefit of slow motion. Yeah, I don't really care. Be better. Because I know they watch it in real time and we get slow-mo after, but there are calls that happen or non-calls that happen that I see right away as I'm watching the game on TV, as it unfolds. And the refs just miss it. They just miss the calls. They either don't throw the flag when they should, or they throw the flag on garbage calls. Anybody with a brain, anybody with eyeballs and a brain inside their head saw Christian Wilkins push Jalen Hurts, and anybody with a brain and eyeballs and the cognitive ability to comprehend basic information saw it unfold and said, anyways, what's going on down here with the ball down the field? Oh, there's a flag? Roughing the passer? What are you talking about? Horrendous officiating over the weekend. Horrible. Clean it up. NFL and NCAA, but mostly NFL.